on Boo. Is that a long-term thing, or do you think he'll be out for a couple weeks?
For him, he's had several serious injuries in his career, and he's always bounced back, so I think this is an injury that, it could be anywhere from 3 weeks to maybe 6 weeks. So we'll wait and see and just kind of take it week by week.
Is that tough on you because the fact that Caden was kind of supposed to be the backup in case Cade has any issues, and now sounds like you're gonna have to use.
You just have to figure it out and do what you can. And for us, it was a nice start for him to move up and get a nice win. That was exciting to see, as well as Marsden. Picking up 2 wins. So 2 of our regular starters are out, and in a match where we felt like it was going to be competitive with the men against Minnesota, and we won both matches, and nice surprise. It gives us a little bit of confidence that we have strong backups.
You spoke of the concerns of Preston possibly having injuries again this year. To see Marsden basically preparing as if he was going to be the starter and come out with those 2 wins, how impressed were you with how he's been approaching things?
Well, I'm just glad, that, you're in a position to have someone. It's not always, you don't always have somebody that's as competitive as you want. But for Andrew, this is his 3rd year here, and it's time for him to. That's an interesting sound there.
Yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one hearing that in my headphones.
Yeah. Helicopter. Anyway, Andrew is probably going to be in the lineup for a while.
Coach, aside from those, injury setbacks, probably pretty big to be able to take 2 wins from the weekend. How do you think overall, your depth is looking and the team's mindset?
Well, the depth's pretty shallow right now. It was good 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden, you're using everybody you have. But it was a good win in Minnesota and South Dakota. I thought we wrestled well. We finished strong in our matches. 8 out of our 10 matches in Minnesota. We really out-wrestled them in the 2nd and 3rd period. In the big matches, Dayton Fix at 33. He continued to score, and put points on the board. So, I was real pleased with, the effort of the team, definitely, and really pleased that, that 2 backups stepped in and made a difference for the outcome of the duel.
How do you think that speaks to, guys stepping in like Caden and them? How do you think that speaks to the overall, temperament of the team going in?
Well, I can tell you, Caden G-Feller wants to wrestle. He wants to start,
Yeah.
Andrew Marsden wants to wrestle. He wants to start. They may not consider themselves backups. They may consider themselves, I'm in for good. Somebody's going to have to kill me to take this spot now. So maybe we're not going with backups.
How important is it in those middleweights where Chandler and Jacoby are to get bonus points? They're in the middle, right in the middle of a duel, instead of just getting some regular 3-point wins.
Well, it was big in the dual meet, to close it out like that. 3 weight classes in a row. We picked up major decisions in the Minnesota match. 165 with Chandler Rogers, and then 74 with Jacoby, and then 84 with Dakota Gear. Very strong. Dakota Gear really seemed to wrestle a little bit sloppy against South Dakota State. Maybe just uneasy in his first match for wrestling for Oklahoma State in a dual meet. But boy, the next day he looked tough, and he looked mean, and he looked dominating.
How is Derek doing? Does he have a bit of a finger injury?
Broke his finger. He broke his finger in the match against Minnesota, and we had the doctor come over and put it back in place, and he taped it up, and he finished the match. So the finger doesn't really keep you out, but it is an injury that you got to take care of because it is painful. There ain't any question about that. So, I'm sure that he'll have a little bit of problem with it for the next couple of weeks, but he won't hold him out of any match for a finger.
You talked about fix the kind of the lineup to start the season? Obviously, it kind of got changed on him, but what'd you like from his performance in Minnesota against a former finalist?
Well, he's just a great competitor, you know. He's pretty. There's only been a handful of matches I've watched him, and I've watched him a lot. A handful of matches where, you know, he just didn't come out to compete. I mean, he's a competitor. He loves to compete. And he loves big matches, and he loves big atmospheres. And you know, he's been in big events, and he's won in big events. So you know, it's not a surprise to me, right? I mean, but we don't take anything for granted. He's at a tough weight, and he's going to have to continue to stay focused and maintain his skill level. You know, his skill level is going to be real important at this weight class.
Is it disappointing for you at all that Gross Fix matchup didn't end up coming to be?
You know, I mean, you know, yeah, I don't know. You know, I think it was more disappointing to the fans, but you know, I've never known Seth Gross to back away. You know, so I'm sure he's had something that kept him out. It was something, you know, they didn't say, but I'm sure it was an injury that forced him out.
What's the biggest buck you've ever bagged?
Me, I've never really bagged a lot of big bucks. You know, I enjoy going out and buying all the stuff and then not getting a chance to go. But you know, I set everything up and put the corn out and do all of it, and then I don't go, or I go one day. But part of the fun is setting things up and letting other people go. That's fun, seeing other people get bucks and go. So anyway.
Coach, obviously Wyoming isn't the same team they were last year, but still, you know, a competitive Big 12 matchup. What are you looking for this weekend?
Well, yeah, it's you know, you look at that match and you're going, oh, Dayton Fix has got another tough match. You know, I mean, 3 matches in a row. You know, he's had guys that were All-Americans from last year. So this Wyoming match, another All-American he hits, a kid that's pretty good, and Oklahoma kid at that, and so you know, and then they have several guys that have a couple other weights that are pretty good. You know, Branch has done a pretty good job of bringing this team along. What I've seen in the last couple of weeks.
Is it going to be nice to wrestle in GIA for the first time this year?
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of our guys look forward to it. You know, kind of odd. It's the first time we've wrestled during Thanksgiving at home in a dual meet. You know, that hadn't been done. We haven't done that in the past, so it just kind of fell that way for us this year. And so we encourage people to get out. You know, it's going to be a great match, and it's going to be there's going to be some key matches that really make a difference in rankings. Okay.
Appreciate it.